Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. I'm here with Garrett in person.
What's
finally.
going on, people?
We apologize for not putting the review out on Tuesday. We apologize. But we're back. We're going to try to cover a little bit of both. Do a little review, a little preview in this one.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting ready to move and stuff, so me and Clark are having some scheduling issues. Here in about a week and a half, we'll probably have a preset schedule, so we should be able to pumping out stuff same time every week, and we shouldn't have any missed episodes, but you know how life gets. It's crazy, so you got to ride it like a bull or a dick. That's what I say.
Whoa. I mean, folks, hang with us here. We're helping you, all right? We're trying to help you. So let's dive right into this NFL preview. First game we got Jaguars at Titans. Titans are favored by 4. The over-under's at 37.5. Jacksonville's coming off that big win against the Colts, okay? Their offense only scored 6 points, though. I give credit where credit's due. Colts defense is okay. But, scoring 6 points, Kessler starting for them, Fournette was out. That's still really bad. But, I don't trust Jacksonville at all. They won their first game after losing 7 in a row.
Yeah, but we're looking at this game coming up, and you know who they're playing.
Yeah, the roller coaster Titans.
Yeah.
Titans coming off a comeback win against the Jets. I think at one point they were down like 16-0.
Yeah.
Came back and won. I think it was 26-22, something like that.
So are they going to keep going up, or are they coming back down?
Technically
they should be down if I'm not mistaken, right?
I'm sticking to the roller coaster theory.
Right.
They started back up, so they're going to win this next game, then they're going to go back down. So for that, I'm leaning Titans' way. Titans, they're at home too, so that plays a part in it. I would think that the under would probably hit in this game. I don't see a ton of points from the Jaguars. So I would lean Titans and kind of, maybe sprinkle a little moolah on the under too.
Yeah, I don't know how exciting the game is going to be. To me, it's two teams, but I'm going to take the Titans on this one as well. I think they're going to outperform the Jaguars, even with the Jaguars coming off a win. I don't think they can keep that going.
Mm-hmm.
They're not that talented of a team.
I agree.
From quarterbacks to running backs to receiving backs.
Yeah. So next we got Panthers at Browns. Panthers are favored by 1.5. The over/under's at 47. I still can't trust Carolina on the road. You saw what happened last week with the Buccaneers, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cam Newton threw 4 interceptions. Mm-hmm. The Bucs defense isn't that great.
No.
So that kind of looks bad for him. So, but, Riverboat Ron Rivera, Panthers head coach, I would say he may be on the hot seat for this one.
Yeah, I think they've got to get something. Well, you were hot on them.
I know, I was hot on it one time.
And it's not that, but I don't know what's going on with their road trap. Why? What happens between leaving and getting there and playing a game?
It may be more of like a mental thing, like they know that they're awful on the road this year.
Do they coach different? They just like
it may just be like ingrained in their minds now because like they have a really bad record on the road, so that's probably a big thing that they're thinking about.
But good coach, you got to get him over that. So I could say he's on the hot seat. You can't, whether you're 6-6 or not. That's to some teams that's to be a great season here that we've got this year. But I think as a coach, you need to be able to get your team going on the road. If you're coaching the same way, the road atmosphere cannot have that big of an effect on you. And if it does, it's pitiful. I
agree. But then you got Cleveland. They're coming off a loss to Houston. Baker threw a few interceptions. But, Carolina, I was hot on them earlier. They broke my trust. They hurt me. So for that reason, I just can't trust them anymore. So I'm going to roll with Baker and the Browns in this one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close game. I think it actually turned out to be a pretty good game. But, I think the Panthers, if Newton and McCaffrey and stuff, if they can get going and not play a road game, play something like more of a home game, I could see them taking the Browns here. I know. I don't think the Browns can keep winning anymore. I think they're gonna it's just not gonna be a good season for them again.
Well, if you look at it from the Browns' perspective, it's a pretty good year for them.
Well, yeah, it is. But what I'm saying, I know we got our boys gone.
Yeah, he's in Cincinnati now.
So they gave him a lot of hate, and I thought maybe it was the Hugh Jackson curse. But actually, I'm gonna take Carolina on this one. I think they're gonna pull past the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I could see it being close. I mean, it's only a 1.5 point spread. So
I think when it comes down to quarterbacks there, I think Cam Newton may be able to, he may get that first down, run the ball a little bit. McCaffrey's going to try to get those first downs. I'm going to take Carolina here.
Okay, I see. I understand where you're coming from. So next we got Ravens at Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 7. The over-under's at 53. The big thing with the Chiefs now, the Kareem Hunt issue. The video came out.
The beater.
The video came out of him. I think he pushed a woman and kicked her. But then, out of nowhere, I saw 3 or 4 other stories of him getting in fights with people in public places come out this week. So it may not just be a one-time thing.
And it could get worse from here. You think about it, maybe that was his way. Football was his way to take out some anger. He get out there and knock some heads, and now he's just going to be knocking people on the street.
I mean,
women.
I wouldn't rule it out.
But it's an awful, terrible thing. I really, it's a shame to see somebody such a good athlete, go down that road.
Yeah, but I saw his interview on, I think it was Sunday Football, ESPN Sunday Countdown or whatever. It was probably the worst interview I've ever seen. I mean,
I did not see the interview.
He didn't really help himself, I would say. I mean, it was probably a bad move for him PR-wise because he didn't really do anything. He didn't really, he just said it seemed like he was more sorry that he got caught.
Do you know the details? I haven't had a chance to really pay attention. I've been so busy. Like I said, why was it a stripper? Did somebody, what was the incident? It doesn't make it right either way, whether it was a stripper or not. That's not what I'm saying. Just curious what happened.
From what I gathered, he was in a hotel. A woman, he says that a woman called one of his friends the N-word with a hard R. Okay? Hard R. So, him and his friends got mad about that, so he pushed one of his people into her, knocked her over, and then he kicked her.
Why would he... So he got mad at her and then shoved one of his own friends?
Yeah, because I guess they may have been trying to hold him back.
Oh, man.
But then, where it gets really screwy is when they tried to investigate it, because the Chiefs got word of it. Kareem Hunt told them he didn't leave his hotel room that night. Okay, so that's a lie.
Yeah.
So
clearly.
that's kind of a big factor that why the Chiefs let him go. He lied about something like that. So he may lie about other things, but then the Chiefs told the NFL, I think, and then the NFL said, "Don't worry about it. We're investigating it." They tried to get the hotel tape. The hotel wouldn't give it to them. And then this past week, somebody at TMZ bought it.
Oh, of course, TMZ always coming in clutch with the...
Somebody bought it from, I think it was one of the hotel employees for $200,000. And then it came out, and now you got all this. So, but anyways, back to the game, because, Kareem Hunt, he's no longer with Kansas City. So, I think this game comes down to Baltimore's defense versus Kansas City's offense. I mean, Baltimore's defense, I would say it's twice as good as their offense.
Yes, absolutely.
They have a really good defense. Kansas City, same scenario. Their offense is maybe twice as good as their defense.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, I trust Kansas City's defense more to stop the Ravens' run game because I would say they're pretty one-dimensional right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Lamar can throw the ball some, but...
He's not a terrible thrower by any means. You got to give him that.
No, but you would say they're more of a run-powered offense.
If they've got him going, they need to run the ball. They need to have a run-powered offense, and they need a team that's rushing defenses, subpar.
Yeah, and
to help keep up with overall. Now, he move the ball some with throwing, but they need to run that ball to get touchdowns.
Yeah, but it's really hard to stop Kansas City's offense, and if they're running the ball that much, it's going to be hard to keep up with them in scoring. And for that reason, I like Kansas City. I could see them. I could see this being a touchdown game, though.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think overall, though, the big picture here for the Chiefs, they're 10-2 season right now. Losing Kareem Hunt's going to be a big hit to them.
Yeah.
And their travel into the playoffs, so...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Their backup running back's not too
bad. But, I mean, Kareem Hunt was an excellent running back.
Oh, yeah.
It was a great offense they had there, the way everybody worked together.
Yeah. So, next we got Colts, Texans. Texans are favored by 4.5. Over-unders at 49. Did you watch the Colts game last week?
No, I was at work.
Oh,
yeah.
Did you see they got screwed?
Mm-mm.
On the final play, they were driving.
Uh-huh.
It looked like one of their players got pushed out of bounds. Ref called it, and they would have had the ball on like the 20-yard line with 3 seconds left to score.
Mm-hmm.
The ref said he got tackled out of bounds, but the ref said his progress was stopped always inbounds. So that means that same thing as he gets tackled inbounds. So the clock kept running, so they lost because of that. It could go either way because it did look like his progress got stopped, but immediately the first reaction was, damn, they got screwed.
Yeah.
But I don't know what to say about the Colts. Their offense, I was trusting them a lot, but now it kind of worries me because they pitched a goose egg last week.
Yeah.
It's Jacksonville. I don't think Jacksonville's that good.
No, definitely not.
So that kind of worries me. But Houston, they're just on a huge roll right now. They've won 9 in a row, I believe.
Yeah, they're on a roll too. And the Colts. They had a good run going. But I like the Texans in this one over him. I think maybe the Colts may try to get a little sense of momentum back, but now they're going to be hurting to be chasing them for the playoffs here, 6-6. And so I think Texans just from rushing to passing, their rushing is what's really going to hurt the Colts, I feel like.
Yeah, the Colts' defense isn't bad, but I don't think it's necessarily good enough to keep Houston out of the end zone enough. And for that reason, I think Houston wins. I could see they'll probably cover, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they'll cover. I think it could be a touchdown game. But you never know. The Colts, surprised me this year when they hadn't a lot of sack for 5 or 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
So they could surprise me again, though. I'm not hating on them as much as I do in normal years when they usually are just messing things up. But
yeah. So next we got Patriots at Dolphins. Patriots are favored by 8.5. The over/under's at 47. The Patriots, I would say they're peaking at the right time right now, but it's usual. They usually peak very well around December time, just heading into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, I like the Patriots, but somehow the Dolphins are still in the playoff race at 6-6. That's very surprising
as I talk
to me.
about the Colts and they're 6-6. Yeah. I don't think this will be. I just don't understand. Why I do understand, but the Patriots, no matter who's out or what's going on, they're always able to make a playoff run and they're always able to have a good season. And you've got to give Bill Belichick that because I keep saying, they're just having an okay year, but they're still winning games.
Okay, this is the stat of the day. Tom Brady is 1-5 when he plays in Miami in December. Okay, in those 6 games, he's thrown 9 touchdowns but 10 interceptions.
Really?
Yeah. So I could see the Dolphins. Because of just based off that stat, I could see the Dolphins somehow winning. But I'm still with the Patriots on this.
My stats here, the Dolphins in the playoff race, is they're ranked almost last in everything.
Yeah, they're not great, but they're somehow winning games. But
they're only winning half their games. Me and you can pick better bets than they can win games. I'm just saying.
Yeah, possibly depending on the week. Some weeks we've had bad weeks.
Okay, they're still in the playoff race. They're 6-6, but there's no way they're beating the Patriots.
No, I got New England winning this one.
I'm gonna go. I think New England could beat the spread on them.
I see that. I kind of like the over on this one too, possibly.
Yeah, I could see that. What we're looking at 47. I could see the Patriots putting up 30+ points, and the Dolphins putting up 21 points or so.
Yeah, I like Ryan Tannehill. He's got some good weapons around him, so I would eye the over on that one. So next we got Giants at Redskins. Giants favored by 3.5. The over/under's at 41. Washington, they lost on Monday, so they're coming off a short week. They lost Colt McCoy. He's got a broken leg now, so they're down to their third-string quarterback, the old Dirty Sanchez. Nobody really expected him to appear this year. But, looking at the Giants, OBJ had a great week last week.
Yes, he did.
I think he might be the best quarterback in New York, in all of New York, including the Jets. I think he threw two touchdown passes last week. I think he could be better than Sam Darnold. He definitely looked better than Eli Manning. And for that reason, I could see OBJ quarterbacking this game, running a Wildcat offense.
Yeah, he had a good game. But you're not. Yeah, when you say he's the best quarterback, and there's not a whole lot to compare him to. So.
But he's still the best quarterback in New York, possibly.
That is a good possibility.
He's in the running.
Yeah, the Giants are just having one of the seasons too. Like we said, they're fading quickly.
Looking at this game, I like the Giants by 7. Redskins are just too beat up. They're on their third-string quarterback, Mark Sanchez. He didn't look that great on Monday night. AP's he's old, but he's still good. He's a true OG to the game.
Yeah, that's the problem with the Redskins. If you want to pick them here, even if the Giants, we've said before, are fading and struggling, the Redskins have nobody else to go to.
Yeah,
they're just down. They're just like a wounded dog sometimes.
Give it the old Yeller treatment.
You just gotta. How did he say it? You know what I'm talking about?
Who?
Fucking American Eagle chest tattoo. Coach Schwartz.
Oh,
Just gotta put a remember put a bullet in his head.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. So I'm gonna agree with that. I like the Giants here, and I think they can pull it off. And with Barkley and stuff, a very dominant running back, I think they'll win by. I think they'll cover the spread.
Yeah, I got them winning by 7, so that would cover the spread. Next, we got Saints at Buccaneers. Saints are favored by 8.5. Over-unders at 55.5. No matter who the Saints play, the over-under's always really high. I think that's a testament to how good their offense is.
Mm-hmm.
But, New Orleans, they're coming off that loss to Dallas.
Yeah, I want to speed up and not talk about this. It's still salts in the wounds here.
I mean, what was your thoughts on that?
I mean, I knew they were going to lose a game. I knew they weren't going to keep going without losing a game. Just watching the whole game, they just didn't come out from the first play and play ready. We talked about that trap game, and we thought we had beat the trap game. And they found it. It was there. And I'm not taking anything away from them, from the Cowboys, but the Saints did not play to their full potential either. I think their offensive line was a big problem from this game. It looked like Drew Brees was under a lot of pressure the entire game, and not that he's not somebody who's used to stepping up in the pocket. You can't step up in the pocket every play, though. His throws were high. It definitely looked pressured, so, props to them on the defensive line. I'm still not thinking that their tight end was all him and the smack talk, but it doesn't matter. I think the Saints will come out this game here against the Buccaneers, and they're not going to lose them this game around. I think they'll come out with some more momentum again, and I think they'll get that number 1 seed there for the playoffs, and they'll keep going.
You think they're going to somehow? Well, they do have the tiebreaker over the Rams.
Yep.
But I can see. I think New Orleans will probably come in second, be a number 2 seed in the NFC. That's
Really?
just my opinion. But back to this game, the Buccaneers are coming off that big win over Carolina, so they might have some momentum. I can see a lot of points being scored in this game. They both have pretty good offenses.
Mm-hmm.
Jameis is starting. He's not doing too bad. Okay,
I think that's just something that changes quickly.
Well, he started off the year, really bad, but he's kind of pulling it together at the end of the year. And I think he has 1 year left on his deal, or maybe this is. I think they'll extend his contract possibly.
Yeah.
I could see the Buccaneers doing that just because that's what the Buccaneers do.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make smart decisions. But I like New Orleans to win this game, not necessarily cover though, because Buccaneers played them tight in I think it was the first week of the season.
First week of the season.
Yeah, didn't the Buccaneers beat them?
They did.
Yeah,
but they've came a long way, and I think knowing Sean Payton, Drew Brees, and their offense, I don't think they're going to be satisfied with that loss by any means, and I think they're going to come out with a lot more momentum. And I want to say it with a grain of salt, and people not be like, well, this guy's an idiot, especially after last week. But I think those guys and the way they play and the way he coaches, is that this game they're going to go after it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had that sense of urgency, and I think they're going to try to get that sense of urgency back and play a lot better.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I think the Saints, they know they're good this year. They know they have a good, legitimate shot at the Super Bowl. So I think they do have that sense of urgency, and I think they'll win this game. I'm not saying they'll cover, but they're going to win this game. Okay.
I think the real quick though before we move on, I think the over under here is pretty interesting. I think, like you said though, 2 high scoring offenses. Winston may throw 6 interceptions, but he's going to damn well go out there and throw 7 touchdowns.
Yeah,
so definitely I think take the over on this one.
Mm-hmm. I could see that easily.
But one thing I will say about the game last week, and not with that, but also talking about the over under here, is that the Saints' red zone defense has been very impressive. That's something they said they wanted to be good at, and their red zone defense is very impressive. To let them drive down the field is one thing, but to be able to get them inside the red zone and stop them, that's something you have to give that defense credit for.
Well, I mean, yeah, that might be something they're aiming towards because Saints, they're gonna score a touchdown. I would say at least half of their drives. Okay, so if they can stop them in the red zone and maybe allow a field goal, they'll just keep increasing their lead. So that's probably something they're targeting. That's something they're trying to really capitalize on. So I really like that too. That was a good observation.
Yeah, and you got to. I mean, overall, I don't want to talk about it too much. Well, he's a Saints fan, but I will give credit to their defense that game. I think a lot of that came down, like I said, the offensive line, and not giving that all to them, but I think they were under a lot of pressure there. But their defense, holding them 13, only a 23-point total game. That's a pretty good game defensively for both teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So next we got Falcons at Packers. Packers are favored by 6. The over-under's at 48.5. So Mike McCarthy got fired after the game Sunday.
It was weird. I was talking about it Monday morning, first thing at work. I said McCarthy's going to go. Pull out my phone a little bit later. McCarthy's been fired. I was like, well, I missed all that. I said, but I called it, and we had talked about it. So
yeah, I mean, it's not a surprise at all. I thought they'd let him finish the year out. Leave on kind of good terms, but I could see why they cut him so soon because they cut him with I think a couple weeks left in the season.
Yeah, what are we now, week 14?
Yeah, something like that. So there's still a few weeks left in the season, but that just gives them those few weeks are pretty crucial because they can get a jump start on finding their next head coach.
Exactly, that was one of the things I saw people talking about. Is it the right time for them to fire him? What else do you have to lose at this point, really? He's clearly not trying to make that I can see, like any changes to get that offense going. It looks like Aaron Rodgers just hates it out there almost, like they're just going through the motions every game. So just like you said, might as well jump out, get out there looking for a coach. Maybe Hugh Jackson's looking for a new coaching position.
I don't know about that. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers would be happy with that.
But I think it is. Go ahead and jumpstart, like you said. Get out there looking for a head coach to get ready for next season.
Yeah, I think this is just my opinion. What they're going to look for in the next head coach is probably going to be a more quarterback-centered coach because they're gonna have to, if they want to keep Aaron Rodgers happy, they might have him take part in the hiring process, like sit in on the interviews and ask questions based around the quarterbacking, because he'll be there for at least 4 to 5 more years. So that coach is going to have a central role in helping him.
Yeah.
And then the coach, if he also stays around after that, he's going to have to mentor the next quarterback. So I think they're going to look for a more quarterback-centered coach. I'm not exactly sure who. I've heard Bruce Arians. He said that he wasn't interested. You saw what he did with Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
But he said he's not interested. I could see that, if they throw enough money, he'll come back and he'll help up there. I could see, because, I think Bruce Arians is a pretty good coach.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you could throw enough money in the way of Mr. Urban Meyer.
I don't. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But
definitely, you're definitely right. They're gonna have to. Right now with their rushing offense, they're gonna have to centered around Aaron Rodgers because he can get the ball down there. But you're gonna have to make plays a little different, so where he doesn't have to sit in the pocket. You're gonna have to give him those options to get the ball to. They're gonna have to redesign that offense to work for him. Mm-hmm. Because with Jones being there, carrying back and Jamal Williams, correct? Yeah. They're not going to be a heavy rushing offense.
Yeah.
Especially when you have Aaron Rodgers, you might as well use him and develop that offense to work with him.
Yeah, you're going to look for a running back that is more of a pass catcher than straight up the gut runner. Yeah. Maybe, spread like zone runner to speed back. But they also need to rework their defense, I think. But, back to this game. Atlanta offense last week against the Ravens. Yeah, it was the Ravens. They scored 16. But, Ravens defense is good. But I think their offense has been lacking all year. I could see Steve Sarkisian, their offensive coordinator, I could see him losing his job after this year. Mm-hmm. But I could also, kind of see their head coach losing his job after this year. Possibly. I'm not, just an idea. Because he's more of a defensive-minded coach.
Yeah.
So they're either going to need to fire him and bring in like an offensive-minded coach to help get the offense back up and rolling, or else bring in like a young offensive coordinator that could possibly take over the reins one day. But I could see this being a tight game. I'm not sure how Green Bay's going to come out. I assume that they're going to come out more energetic than last week, possibly.
Yeah.
And but in the end, I could see Green Bay winning by a walk-off field goal last second.
Yeah, the 6 point. It's one of those games right now. It's kind of iffy, and I wouldn't want to put money on it. For the fact that I don't know how they're going to come out. I don't know what they're going to change. They may have better routes to get the ball to. They may have short passes to get the ball moving down the field. And so with that, it's something I'd want to stay away from. But I think it could end up being a good game. The Falcons could put up some points, which is a very good possibility. But I would stay away from betting on it.
Yeah, he made the head coach now. I think it's Joe Philbin. He may just try to, hey, we don't have many games left. We're just going to try to get through the season. He may give full control to Aaron Rodgers to call whatever he wants. That would be pretty interesting to see.
That would.
So, they may just try to get through it. I'm not sure, because, having to install a new offense in a week would be almost impossible.
Yeah.
So they're probably just using base plays,
Well,
just
yeah,
making a
but-
little variations to them.
But sometimes a little variation can make a big difference for things they've been struggling with.
Yeah. So next we got Jets at Bills. Bills are favored by 3.5. Over-unders at 38.5. This is the first game all year that Buffalo's favored in the game, okay? If that tells you how their season's going.
Well, it's not good,
No.
to say the least.
No. But, I think Todd Bowles, he's on borrowed time. I don't see why the Jets don't fire him after this year.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a good reason to keep him.
No. But, I could see Josh Allen having a big game this time, Last week against Miami, he looked kind of impressive at times. The week before, he had a few big throws. In the end, I got Buffalo by 10.
Yeah, overall, I think it's going to be a game. I'm going to agree with you that Buffalo's definitely going to win this game, but I don't think it's going to be a game that if you don't watch, you're going to miss much.
No, I mean, I wouldn't recommend watching it. There's plenty of other games on for the 1 o'clock slate that are good too.
Yeah.
But I mean, Bills Mafia, if you're part of it.
Yeah, you got Sam Darnold out there. You got two of the worst quarterbacks in the league here.
Yeah.
And their 50% accuracy rating.
Yeah, they're not good. I mean, Josh Allen isn't too bad. He's a rookie.
That is true.
But I don't trust Sam Darnold.
I don't let excuses. I just want results.
Okay, yeah.
Bills Mafia, Jets Mafia. It's gonna be a game here.
Yeah. So next we got Bengals at Chargers. Chargers are favored by 14.5. Pretty big spread. Over-unders at 47.5. Los Angeles coming off that big comeback win against Steelers. Okay, Phillip Rivers I would put him in top 5 MVP consideration right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking on that, I saw the updated odds for MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Brees is the favorite, minus 125.
I just saw that.
So it's looking good for you. Your argument's looking like it might win. Back to this game, Chargers, they're playoff bound. I believe they've slipped in front of the Steelers now for the wild card.
I believe so. They're 9-3. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they're on a roll. I think Eckler's going to have a great day. Cincinnati run defense is awful. I'm not pointing fingers, but I might motion towards Hugh Jackson on that one, the special defensive assistant.
Yeah, I don't understand why I don't get it.
But Marvin Lewis, Cincinnati head coach, he has to be on the hot seat. I mean,
you would think so.
I mean, but he's had shitty teams. I mean, I won't say shitty teams. His teams have been okay, but he's just had shitty seasons for, I would say.
Well, something's wrong.
I would say 5+ years. It's always like, they might finish like 6-10 or 7-9, just somewhere in that mid range where he can just barely keep his job, maybe have a win.
I'll get a win here and I'll be all right.
Yeah, but I think he has to be on the hot seat. He has to be out. They need to make some changes in Cincinnati. But I like Chargers by 14. That's a pretty big spread.
I honestly think the spread's a little big, and I think some of that's them coming off that win against the Steelers. But I don't think they'll have any problem winning this game.
No, I have them winning straight up.
I'll give them. I don't know if they're going to beat the spread, but I'll give them a 2-touchdown win.
Yeah,
easily. But other than that, I don't think the Bengals really stand a chance here.
No, not at all.
It's the Hugh Jackson curse.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad, okay? So next we got Broncos at 49ers. Broncos are favored by 6. Over-unders at 44.5. Denver's also making this playoff push.
Yes.
I believe they're 6-6 now.
Yes.
So they're playing some great football. The 49ers, if I was in charge of them right now, I would say, hey, we're not making playoffs. Nothing's really going to come if we win. We're just kind of playing dark horse right now. Why don't we just roll over and tank? All right, I think that's what they should do. Probably
get you a better pick come next year. Maybe start redesigning something.
Yeah, so I can see the 49ers putting up a somewhat good fight, but I got Denver by 13 in this one.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. 49ers are 2-10 now, or something. They might roll over tank. Get yourself a better pick next season. And I think the Broncos, they're still trying to push here, so I think it's an easy for them. I'm guessing they're going to cover the spread. I'm not sure I think it's going to be more of a 10-point game, but that's just me. That's my feeling. Mm-hmm. But I've had some bad gut feelings last week.
Yeah. Saints one wasn't a good feeling.
It was not.
Mm-mm. So next we got Eagles at Cowboys. Cowboys are favored by 3.5. Over-unders at 43. Battle for the NFC East. This is a must-win for Philly. If Dallas wins, they're going to the playoffs. Philadelphia is going to sit at home. That Super Bowl hangover is still looming. I mean, they beat the Redskins, but they beat Mark Sanchez. So, I mean, it's not that impressive. Dallas has some momentum right now. They beat the Saints, so they're kind of on a roll. So, for that, I like Dallas by 10 in this one. Not too much, but not just skating by either.
Yeah, they've got some momentum behind them. The only thing is I'm not sure, looking at the stats from last week for them boys, it really wasn't a heavily, it's 13 points. They have the feeling, we just beat the Saints, but offensively how well you performed, I don't know, translates into this week here. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to have both teams, I think, are going to come out. They're going to want to get the NFC East. But the problem is that I don't think Dallas performed offensively that great last week. Looking at the stats-wise, they won. But, Zeke was shut down. Mm-hmm. Cooper was shut down. So they had some plays, but it wasn't a blowout game. And so I don't know. They have the momentum of winning last week, but how much, we can really get this done are they going to put forward in this game? And I think with the Eagles wanting to try to win, too, it's going to make it a very interesting game.
Yeah, but Cowboys are home. The last time they played, Zeke ran all over the Eagles. I think Zeke will have a pretty big day. Eagles' run defense is really sketchy. So, I got Cowboys by 10.
I'm not going to give them that big. I think the Cowboys will win. But my thing here is that... I'll take the Eagles. I'm going to go...
You're going to take the Eagles?
Or not... You know what? Last week I wouldn't have told you to take the Cowboys either, so fuck it, I might as well. But it kind of be a trap game for Cowboys. But I'm done talking about trap games this season because it's messed me every time, and I've messed it up every time. So the Cowboys are going to win. I don't know. I say they win by maybe a touchdown.
Yeah, 7-10 is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and the Eagles maybe. I don't think they're going to really. I think they'll shut down. I don't think they'll be able to stop. Their rush defense is not good enough to stop Zeke.
No. So next we got Steelers at Raiders. Steelers are favored by 11. Over-unders at 51.5. I don't think this game should be close, but look what happened last week.
Yeah.
I said take the Chiefs by 15 or more, and Raiders lost by 7, so they beat the spread. They made it kind of a close game. But, the Steelers, they're getting good at choking, okay?
Yeah.
That was a definite choke last week. But James Conner, he's out this week. He injured his leg last game, so they're down a running back. But it's the Raiders. I don't think the Steelers will have much of a problem against them. Mm-hmm. So I got Pittsburgh by 14 plus. But who knows what will happen with the Raiders?
Yeah, I don't think I know it's gonna hurt the Steelers being down, but playing the Raiders like that, and they've been choking here, but I don't think they can choke that bad that they're gonna lose against the Raiders. Big Ben won't do that. So I'll give it 14 points. I'm agreeing with you right there. They're going to win by 2 touchdowns at least against the Raiders.
Is he going to throw a pick, though? Because he said he's going to keep throwing no matter what.
He'll probably throw a pick. It's Big Ben.
Yeah, true.
He sees something, he just chucks it.
So next we got Lions at Cardinals. Lions are favored by 2.5. Over-unders at 40.5. Josh Rosen, have you seen his stat line the last few weeks?
Yeah, not really.
I'll give you a general. It's usually like maybe 9 for 18, 9 for 19, 9 for 20, something in there.
Yeah.
And it'll maybe like 106 yards, 110 yards, something somewhere in there. So he's doing just enough, okay? Yeah. Just enough to get by.
Keep him there.
Yeah. Arizona, they're leaning on their run game a lot. They got David Johnson, one of the best running backs in the league. So, he doesn't really have to put up great numbers to pull out wins like last week against Green Bay.
Yeah.
But, Detroit, Matthew Stafford, I think he'll light the Cardinals secondary up. So I got Detroit by 10 in this one. What do you think?
I'm taking Detroit on this one. The Cardinals really don't have a whole lot going for them at all. Not passing, rushing, offensively, nothing. So I'll take Detroit too. I'm going to go by a touchdown here.
So for these next two games, I could interswitch them for game of the week possibly. Mm-hmm. They're both going to be pretty good games, I think. Mm-hmm. So the first one is Rams at Bears. Rams are favored by 3.5. The over-under is 52.5. Chase Daniel last week, at times he looked pretty good, but like when he's good, he's good. But when he's bad, he's awful.
Yeah.
Like it got bad last week, so it was so bad that for the touchdown to send it to overtime, he didn't even throw the touchdown pass. I think Tariq Cohen
did. I've got him on my fantasy team. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things where under pressure you're not any good, which is a terrible thing to have.
Yeah, I don't trust the Bears when Chase Daniel's starting, which all signs are pointing towards him starting this week. Trubisky's starting to get back out on the practice field, but if he plays on Sunday, which I don't see him doing it, I could see him being on maybe a pitch count, like he only plays a certain number of plays just to get back. But, you know, if you send him out there hurt against the Rams defense, he might get hurt even more.
He gets somebody from the backside, it's not going to – he's out for the rest of the season.
But, you know, the Rams are rolling now. They've locked up the NFC West. They're going to make the playoffs. I don't see the Bears scoring over 20 in this one just because Chase Daniels.
I think, you know, with that pressure of the Rams defense, it's going to get to him. Mm-hmm. And so if he starts panicking – and making bad throws, it could really hurt him, you know, an interception at the wrong time, and just let the game get out of control.
I got the Rams by 17 in this one. I don't, you know, Chicago's defense is good.
Yes.
I give credit where credit's due. They're not that good enough to stop that Rams offense, you know. Mm-hmm. So I could see it being like 34-17 possibly, but I just got the Rams by 17, maybe, I don't know, 10-27 or 35. Something like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to take the Rams by at least a touchdown. 17 sounds like a sweet spot because, you know, if they get within field goal range and they get stopped, which I think the Bears could do that. You know, Zerline's going to put one of them kicks down the field for him. So definitely the Rams here. I'm going to agree with 17. That sounds like a sweet number. Mm-hmm. I think that's the number it's going to be.
It's sort of visually appealing, like it looks pretty good.
You know, Zerline's always getting a field goal for him at some point, and a 2-touch. I think that's a perfect number.
Okay. So Monday night we got Vikings at Seahawks. Seahawks are favored by 3. Over/unders at 45. Yeah, I agree. This is going to be a great game. I'll say it. This is my game of the week.
Yeah, I would agree. It's Monday night, first of all. Lovely time to watch football. Mm-hmm. Rough Monday day at work. Come back, watch some football.
So Minnesota, I would say they're having a disappointing year. They came in with very high expectations, you know, bringing Kirk Cousins in, Thielen and Diggs coming off a great year. Mm-hmm. So I would say that they're kind of having a disappointing year. But Seattle, you know, they start off rough, but they're rolling now. They're full on locomotive. Full on locomotive, can't be stopped, get off the tracks. Mm-hmm. If the playoffs started today, this would be the number. Seattle is now the number 5 seed. Minnesota's 6, so it would be number 5 versus number 6. But you know, I just think Minnesota, they're kind of losing momentum. Mm-hmm. They're having a disappointing year. Seattle's rolling. I like Seattle by possibly 10-17.
I'm taking Seattle by a touchdown here. The over/under is kind of iffy for me. I'm not sure. What are you thinking on the over/under, Clark?
I don't know. Last week the Seahawks scored quite a bit of points. Vikings, they didn't score too many.
I could see an under on this one personally.
I like the under, but not by a whole lot. I could see them possibly scoring maybe. I could see 21-14, so just barely hitting the under. 21-17 possibly. I would definitely take the under before I took the over.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's all the games for this week. We're going to take a quick look at the playoff picture. So for the NFC, we got the Rams at the 1 seed, Saints at 2, Bears at 3, Cowboys at 4, Seahawks at 5, and Minnesota at 6. But we still got 4 teams sort of in the hunt. We got Carolina, Philadelphia, Washington, and Tampa Bay. Okay? Mm-hmm. I mean, I could see possibly Minnesota dropping out, but, you know, thinking about it some more, I'm not sure about it because I thought Carolina would possibly take their spot. Mm-hmm. But they're kind of struggling right now, and then they have to play the Saints twice in the last 3 weeks. Yeah. So that might end up screwing them over. I mean, at the best, if Panthers will finish 10-6, which isn't that great, but I don't
see them finishing 10-6 though. There's just no way.
That's if they win the rest of their games, which I don't see them doing.
They can't win this week. They're on the road. They can't win on the road.
I know. And then I think the last week they have to go to the Saints. One of the last 3 weeks they have to go to the Saints. So
yeah.
I could see that being the kind of the NFC lock. Mm-hmm. I would say it's almost locked in right now.
Yeah.
But, I could see the Bears possibly shifting back. Possibly. No, I think they'll probably win their division. Minnesota will probably sneak in at the 6th seed. But the AFC, it's kind of wide open. I would, aside from the top 4, I would say, possibly the top 3, because we got the Chiefs at 1, Patriots at 2, Texans 3, Steelers 4, Chargers at 5, Ravens at 6. But in the hunt still, we got Dolphins, Colts, Broncos, Titans. Yeah. So I think, Chiefs will lock up their division, possibly, because their only competition is the Chargers and Broncos, which, Chargers are on a roll, but I don't think they're going to do enough to catch the Chiefs. Patriots are peaking at the right time, so I like them. I think Texans, if they beat the Colts this week, they're going to lock up the division. But the Steelers and Ravens, I could see them possibly flip-flopping if, Steelers lose a game, Ravens
the Steelers,
win a game.
They're kind of, they've been shaky these last few weeks here, and so Big Ben's throwing no matter what, so he may just start throwing interceptions.
Yeah, so Ravens, Steelers could possibly flip-flop. Chargers, I think they'll still make it.
The Chargers are definitely got some momentum. They're definitely headhunting out there.
Yeah. But, I wouldn't rule out the Dolphins. If the Dolphins beat the Patriots this week, I'll say it. They're going to make the playoffs. Okay?
Yeah. I mean, they're going to.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter. The Patriots are always going to, like you said, they warm up at the beginning of the season. We're like, they're not doing so hot. But they start slowly picking up every game.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Just enough.
Yeah. So, but, Broncos, they're having, they start off kind of bad, but they're kind of getting some momentum going, peaking. But I don't know if it may be too late because, they're 6-6 now. It may be too late to reach the playoffs for them because they're right there. Dolphins, Colts, Broncos are all 6-6. So it's kind of like a three-way tie, but then they have to get over the Ravens too.
Yeah.
So it meant AFC. I'm not sure. I could see possibly Ravens, Steelers flip-flopping, Ravens or Steelers dropping out maybe. But I think for sure Chiefs, Patriots, Texans, Chargers are making it.
Yeah, those four for sure. The Steelers kind of worry me a little bit. So those four are definitely going.
Yeah. You have anything else on the playoffs?
No, that's about it.
Okay, so that's all the NFL preview for this week. Now we're going to look at some college football. Last week was conference championship week. Some great games. We got the college football playoff finalized. We got Alabama at 1, Clemson at 2, Notre Dame at 3, Oklahoma at 4. So that creates Alabama versus Oklahoma. And then Clemson versus Notre Dame. Honestly, I wasn't high on Oklahoma getting in the playoffs.
No.
But
watching them play some of the games, just getting it over with, they don't stand a chance against Alabama.
Oh, because I disagree.
Really?
The only loss this year was to Texas by 3. But they avenged that in the conference championship and won by it was by 10 plus. Alabama, they struggle. I think Alabama's weakness would possibly be against a spread offense like you see Clemson run.
Yeah.
Oklahoma runs it to perfection. But for Oklahoma to somehow beat Alabama, it's going to take a lot of, I would say ballsy calls. They're going to have to, because, if Alabama gets the ball, they're going to score most likely.
Well, and I can see it's going to take a lot of ballsy plays, but everything on those plays is going to have to go right.
Oklahoma's going to have to score every time they get the ball, and they're somehow going to have to get the ball more than Alabama, hopefully.
I don't see them be able to consistently do that every time. That's the problem with Oklahoma.
Well, I'm not saying I see them doing that either, but that's what they're going to have to do.
I think a lot of this stems from the fact that people are worried that Bama's going to win. Again, they're going to win. And I'm not one who really hates on Alabama, and I can see them doing it. No matter what anybody says, Notre Dame's not getting it.
No.
I know around here there's a lot of Notre Dame fans in general, and I don't really like Notre Dame fans. I'm sorry if you're one. But Notre Dame's, I think they're going to lose to Clemson.
Yeah, moving on to the next one. I like Clemson. I like Clemson a lot. Okay? The spread, I think it was 2 touchdowns. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
But I like Clemson a lot. If they can keep their quarterback upright, what's his name? Trevor Lawrence, the freshman. I like them a lot versus Alabama. Alabama's heavy favorite. I might throw some money on Clemson. They're, I think, plus 225.
Speaking of that, when we're talking about this, I'm not going to say anything good job to Notre Dame. I just don't think they have it in them to continue to win. So when I say I don't like their fans, it's one thing. But people are very high on them this year, and they've done an excellent job, and I'll give them that. But I don't think they have what it takes against Clemson.
But, if you look at their schedules, Notre Dame played Pittsburgh and barely won at Notre Dame. Clemson played Pittsburgh in the conference championship.
Yeah.
Blew them out.
Yeah.
So that's advantage Clemson. They asked the Pittsburgh head coach, how would you compare those two teams? And he said, Clemson's the best team in the country, I think.
Yeah.
So, I'm riding Clemson high. I hope they get to play Alabama again because then I'll ride them that game too. I'll full out become a devoted Tigers fan.
That seems a little bit much.
I hate Alabama. Hold on. I don't necessarily hate them. I just don't like them. I like to see some variety.
You don't like some of their fans. That's I think where a lot of mine comes from Notre Dame. There's some fans, and it's not all of them. It's some of them that really get under my skin. I know there's some Alabama fans that get under your skin.
Maybe. I'm not sure. But, moving on, some of the big coaching changes in college football in the last week or so. I think it was yesterday. Urban Meyer said he would retire after the Rose Bowl.
Yep.
So, when he said he would retire, it was kind of murky. He didn't necessarily say, I'm never coaching again. He said, I don't know. He wouldn't give a definite no.
Yeah, so is he getting out of Ohio State for some reason? Is he they're kind of pushing him out? I'm going to retire from here. And you never know. He could come back.
Yeah, I mean, he talked about possibly seeking still a football role, possibly mentoring the coaches and players there, just not head coach because that requires a lot of dedication, He's 54, so he's still he's not old.
No, especially not compared to some of the other coaches out there.
Yeah, so I could, I've heard rumors of him going to USC when that job opens up next year, possibly. If Brian Kelly doesn't have a good year, he's out of Notre Dame. I could see Meyer stepping in. But I'll give you one definite answer. He's not going to the NFL. Because Urban Meyer, in an interview yesterday with, I think it was Yahoo Sports, he said he thinks about losses a lot. And, you've seen his record at Ohio State. He's only lost 4 games in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
When he's been at Ohio State. The good NFL coaches, they'll go maybe 80 and 50. So he couldn't take that. He would die.
I think he enjoys coaching college kids. I think he enjoys that level. And I think it's what makes him so good, That is where he's good. He is good at that level.
Yeah. But, I mean, Jim Harbaugh, he's probably breathing a sigh of relief right now.
Yeah.
He's like, thank God he's gone. But, I'm not sure because I don't think Urban Meyer will go into TV, like ESPN coverage, broadcasting, whatnot. Because he tried it once. I don't think he enjoyed it.
I think he enjoyed. I could see him. It was kind of it just came out real quick, and like you said, there wasn't much said. I could see him coming back. I could see him being after everything that's went down at Ohio State between his boy Zach Smith and Hookem.
We haven't heard anything out of Zach Smith in a while.
Maybe that's why.
I think he's still on Twitter.
I think there may be something going on with him why he's getting out of there.
He's had some health problems. He could be.
I know, but I think there's more than just that.
Well, yeah, he's been under a lot of pressure and scrutiny this year, so I could see him, possibly taking some time off to, let that dissipate. But since he did, it just seems weird to me that he didn't say definitely that he'll never coach again. So that just kind of threw me for a loop. But we also had Bill Snyder retiring, Kansas State legend. I think he's probably coached there, I would say 50 years. I think it was around that.
He's getting up there.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much been his whole life, coaching there. Congrats to him for retiring.
Yeah.
He's still alive. I don't know how much longer he'll be alive, though, because, football was pretty much his life. And then the final big thing, I think, confirmed today, Cliff Kingsbury, ex-Texas Tech head coach, hired at USC for offensive coordinator. I read Reddit, a bunch of websites. I've heard quite a few tales about his, I don't know how to really explain it, his exploits in Lubbock, Texas at Texas Tech, with the women. So, I think he's really going to thrive in LA now because of that, and then he'll, get to run a big-time powerhouse college football offense.
Yeah.
And he's got one of the best QBs in the nation. The freshman they brought in this year, his mind's slipping me right now. His name is. But, I think he's really great.
I think he's got a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah, I mean,
to
possibly make a leap to the NFL because I heard his name mentioned with some of the open NFL jobs coming too.
Yeah. So
he's in at USC, and there's only one college game this weekend, the Classic, Navy versus Army.
My favorite game to watch.
So Navy is at Army. Army's favored by 7.5. Over/unders at 40. Have you seen Army's uniforms?
I'm not.
Alrighty, I'm showing Garrett the uniforms.
Those are pretty fucking sick.
Remember that Call of Duty game, Big Red 1?
Yeah.
The first division, Big Red 1, the first infantry division.
Oh yeah.
You were part of that in Call of Duty?
Yeah.
That's what that uniform's based on. You see the Big Red 1 on the helmet.
Oh.
So that's I would say that's in the running for uniform of the year. But both these teams are really run heavy, triple option. I don't see a ton of points scored in this one, but Army throws used to maybe threw like 4 times a year.
Yeah.
Like it was bad. But they've started throwing more this year. But I mean, compared to other colleges, it's still not a lot, maybe 4 passes a game. But every year, whenever you watch this game, if you tune into the pregame, they always have these super emotional videos. So you got to get ready for that. maybe have some tissues standing by. Because they'll bring a tear to your eye. I'm serious. But, I think Army wins this one. They have the better defense because they played Oklahoma earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Held their high-powered offense to 28 points, took them to overtime.
Yeah, I did see
So,
that
for that reason, I like Army in this one.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't got to watch enough college football games this year, as you know. So I'm not going to lay any bets down this game. I'm not going to give any advice. So I'm going to let you give the people the good advice, and if you're right, you're right.
I'm not going to probably bet on this game. I think Army wins. So I don't know about a 7.5 point spread, but I got Army winning. But speaking of bets, let's talk about how our bets did last week. How'd your betting go, McAdams?
All right, I'm going to run through mine here real quick. My underdogs were the Chargers, Clark.
Mm-hmm.
We got that. Told you I was right. Yep, Saints, they didn't win. Got it. Cool. Lost that one. Thought they were going to beat the spread there. My over was the Steelers and Chargers. Got that one right. Under was the Bears and the Giants. That was wrong. But my lock was the Rams winning by at least the spread, and I got that one. So I came out 3 for 2.
I had pretty similar results. I also went 3-2. For my underdog, I had Buccaneers over the Panthers. Okay, so that was a good one. Spread, I had Seahawks -10 versus the 49ers. That was also a good one. For the over, I had Buffalo and Miami over 40. They scored 38, so I lost that one. Very close, though. For my under, I had Jacksonville and Indianapolis under 47.5. The total was 6. So we killed that one. We absolutely slaughtered it. But my biggest disappointment of the week was probably the Chiefs. I had them -15 versus the Raiders. They only ended up winning by 7. So that was kind of disappointing. I went 3-2. Still made money. So we're all still happy. But we're gonna get right back into it, and we're bringing you some more bets right here, right now. So what do the folks have to do, McAdams? They calling their bookie?
Oh, they call the bookie. They get on their bookie.
Mm-hmm.
They put their bets in. They get their money out. They start throwing it.
Folks, it's almost the weekend. All right. Do you get paid this week, McAdams?
Yeah, I do get paid this week.
So
why not blow it?
Yeah,
we're taking our money. You get your money out there. We're gonna make. Clearly, we're making your money. We may lose a couple, but we're coming out ahead.
Yeah. So stay with us. Okay, we're here to help you. We're gonna help you. So McAdams, what's your underdog bet of the week?
I'm gonna take the Falcons over the Packers. I know I said this was a difficult game, probably to stay away from. But to put money on, I'm feeling confident enough about it. I'm not sure how they're going to do. Then the Packers may come out and have some momentum behind them this week, but I think the Falcons can do it. I think Matt Ryan can throw enough. After last week, he's got a thing with him. I've noticed a lot. Bad week, good week, bad week, good week. He's ready for a good week.
Okay. I can feel you on that one. For my underdog, I like Browns over Panthers. Panthers are favored by 1.5. It's close. But I like Browns. Panthers are on the road. We both know they're not good on the road, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for that reason, I like the Browns. I think Baker Mayfield's going to have a pretty good day. Their defense is going to lock down. I'm not saying they'll blow the Panthers out by any means, but I think they'll win by a touchdown or a field goal.
That's
so
fair.
I like Browns over Panthers. So do you have a spread pick of the week, McAdams?
My spread for the week here. I should always stay away from teams you're favorites of. But Saints, Buccaneers. I got the Saints beating the spread here.
We know what happened the last time you took the Saints.
Shut up. Who's your spread, Clark? Moving on.
My spread, I got Seahawks -3 versus the Vikings. I think they'll win by a lot more than 3. Like I said, I got them winning by, maybe a touchdown field goal, maybe 2 touchdowns, something like that. So, what's your over of the week, McAdams?
Look, we said it. Oh, man, I hate to do this. It could be a bad week for me, but I've had a roll. I think every week I think one week I was 2 for 3. My over this week, and I'm feeling pretty confident about it, is the Saints Buccaneers.
Really?
I think
double dipping on it.
I know, and I shouldn't do it, but we talked. But like you said, Winston can throw some touchdowns, and I think he's going to. I think the Saints this week are going to come out and throw some touchdowns, and only being what's it set at? It's set at 55, and I like how high it is. It gets me.
Oh no!
It gets me going.
They're baiting you.
They may be in next week, guys. I may be like, well, yeah, like that. But I'm gonna get a little wild this week. After last week, I ain't got nothing to lose.
True. So for my over, I like Patriots Dolphins over 47. Both their defenses not great, not bad. So I could see being Patriots 30, Dolphins 24 possibly. So, I think Patriots will score, I would say, around 30 points. Dolphins will be in the 20s, so I like that one a lot. I mean, I'm really liking it. So, McAdams, what's your under of the week?
Yeah, Clark, my under this week's going to be Jets and Bills. It's only set at 38.5. The spread's not very big, and I think the spread could stay that close actually in the game. I could see both teams putting up like 17 points, 14, 17 or something like that. So I'll take that as my under.
Okay, that's not a bad under. For my under, I got Ravens at Chiefs, under 53. I think Chiefs will score a lot of points. Ravens, they got the run game, eats up some time off the clock, so they're not going to score a ton of points in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So I got Ravens at Chiefs under 53. So it's time for our last one. McAdams, what's your lock of the week?
My lock of the week is going to be the Chargers. I'm going to keep it safe here because I've already had a couple risky bets. I'm just going to take the Chargers to win.
Okay.
I don't care if it pays out. That's keeping my statistics good right there. I got too risky before.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll get wild on the lock. This week I'm going to have to stick with it.
For my lock, listen up. I got Rams minus 3.5 versus the Bears. Chase Daniel, awful. Awful when he's bad. Okay when he's good. Rams are going to score a lot. Bears not going to score a ton. So, I got Rams 3.5. Lock it in. Done deal. You might as well have your bookie already sign you a check. Fill out that check for you, baby. So those are our bets of the week. Go ahead, lock them in. Final thing we got fantasy. Just a little fantasy advice for all the folks that made the playoffs. Me and McAdams both made our fantasy playoffs.
So take our advice.
So we're at least making a little money off our fantasy seasons, correct?
That would be correct.
So, who you starting this week, McAdams?
I'm going to start Kamara this week. He didn't have a whole lot going last week. I think against Tampa Bay, the Saints are going to use him. Him and Ingram, I think, will have a lot better against their rush defense than he did against the Cowboys because their defense did an excellent job last week, and I don't think that Tampa Bay is going to be able to provide that defense against him, so I'm starting him. I think he'll be looking to put up big points this week.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I got two people that I'm starting. I got Aaron Rodgers and Austin Eckler once again. Aaron Rodgers, they fired Mike McCarthy, got some new things in, new game plans possibly. I think they just might give full control to Aaron Rodgers, just let him run the offense. So what are you going to do when you get to call the offense? You're going to throw the ball a lot.
You're going to make your stats good.
Yeah, you're going to boost your stats. So I got him having a really good day. Austin Eckler, he's playing the Bengals. Their run defense is sad. I got him having a monster day too. Now, who are you sitting this week, McAdams?
This week, once again, I'm sitting Gronk. He's questionable once again.
He's just got injured.
And he came back, and I had him on my bench, scored 14 points. But last week, like I said, I think I said sit him last week, 5 points. This week, he's got Miami. Still questionable. I just don't think he's getting out there. I don't think he's able to play to his full potential, so I'm going to sit him again.
Okay. So I'm sitting two guys this week. I got Kirk Cousins and Jordan Howard. Kirk Cousins is going to Seattle. I don't see him having a good day. He didn't have a great week last week against the Patriots. I don't see him having a good week this week either. Mm-hmm. And then Jordan Howard, he's got to run against that good Rams defense. I don't see him having a great day. But, for my sleepers, I got Tariq Cohen and Josh Allen. Tariq Cohen, him and Jordan Howard sharing the Bears' backfield. Tariq Cohen, I like him, his pass-catching abilities. And, he can make some quick moves, get out in space. That's what they try to do with him, get him one-on-one out in space. He'll make a guy miss and bust off a big run. So I like Tariq Cohen this week. Josh Allen, he's playing against the Jets. Jets pretty bad, I would say.
Yeah.
So I could see him possibly throwing 2 or 3 touchdowns against the Jets, having a pretty good day. So do you have a sleeper, McAdams?
Yeah, my sleeper is exact same as yours, Tariq Cohen. I've been starting him every week, but he had a good week last week, so how much of a sleeper really is he? But I think he's going to come out against the Rams. You're going to have to use him a lot against their defense, and that's exactly what he does. Just like you said, he gets out in space. He's a great receiving back for them, and it's going to get you. It's gotten me a lot of points, a lot of weeks. I think this week could be another great week for him. Also, another sit-em is Willie Snead. I've had him. He was consistent the first part of the season, but Jackson just doesn't throw the ball, so he's not getting the catches. So you might as well put him on your bench.
I agree. I think I also have him. Well, yeah, I dropped him.
He was consistent, but now with Lamar, he just doesn't throw the ball.
Yeah.
As much. So he's not getting receptions.
Yeah. So that about wraps it up for this episode. We covered everything. We gave you some solid money makers, some solid fantasy advice. And you got anything else to add, McAdams?
That's about it.
Alrighty, folks. Well, I guess we'll catch you next time. Thank you for listening if you made it this far. Be sure to listen to us on our other things. We're on YouTube, Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify.
Find the link. We've got it. It's there.
You got it. Give us a follow on social media. All that. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're there. We're active. So give us a follow. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.